Pretty cool, huh? Ooh, I should probably have my earphones in. Welcome back to Overclock Showcase. Welcome to what's going to be, I guarantee, the greatest episode of Overclock Showcase you've ever seen. Because it's finally time for the finale. Even though microconductor add-ons just sitting there waiting for that episode, I don't care. That's like the bonus episode. It's like in the Sandman where they did that extra episode with Arthur Darville and Derek Jacobi. That's what microconductor add-on is. This is the actual finale. It's called Conductive Thermals. It is the Drax new overclock. We're gonna have to start with a history lesson, I think, because this overclock had a really interesting journey in my mind. When I first heard about it or first saw it, I'm not sure how I first went of it, whether I literally saw it in play or just saw a screenshot of like its stat screen or something like that. I'm actually not sure how I first perceived conductive thermals, but I knew that I was interested. I love the Drac. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game, and whatever it got I knew was going to be interesting, because the Drac really just relies, it's so built upon the foundation of just having a host of interesting overclocks. I think literally only one of them isn't interesting, well, two of them aren't interesting. Overtune Particle Accelerator isn't interesting, it's also not very good. But these are all just so dynamic and transformative, and Conductive Thermals is no different. It might be the most transformative one, in fact, which is crazy. So what the hell even is it? Well, it's a status effect based overclock. Listen, you probably know what this is by now. You've probably seen Drilling in the Name of video, for example, but it does what it says on the tin pretty well. It applies a buff to fire, frost, and electric damage. A stacking buff. It applies a stack of this debuff with every time you hit an enemy. And it makes you deal more fire, cold, and electric damage to the enemies that are afflicted by it. It also applies a separate debuff that makes enemies much, much easier to freeze and burn. This is also a stackable debuff. Both of them are stackable, and both of them are very noticeable. It does come off as strange at first because, like, oh, it's a very, very synergy-focused overclock. And then you start to realise when you really look into it how good that can be. And not just with team pairings, but just with also what the scout can do himself. He has options in every slot, but literally on the primary slot, many on the secondary slot, and even in the grenade slot, he has multiple options to take advantage of this effect. You have cryo grenades, or Voltaic stun sweepers. Weirdly enough, I'm actually not going to be using stun sweepers in this video, because this is one of the builds. This is the other build. And I love them both dearly. So let's just actually start talking about what the build is. The first build we're going to be using is this one. This build is very much so focused on being a relatively self-sufficient Drac, but well, actually, both weapons are quite self-sufficient, but also can be paired together very, very well. This is actually, in my opinion, the most interesting version of the Drac out of the two. I really like what's going on here. The primary thing that's going on is the fact that we're using Plasma Splash. So let's go through it tier by tier first. So we've got projectile speed, because I think it is the best thing in this tier. You will have noticed that I've used it in the next one as well. I often find myself using rate of fire. It works very well with shield battery booster as well, or TEF. But in this case, I'm going for projectile speed. Don't really need to. This one, it's less reliant on that, and actually rate of fire would work kind of well, but it just feels better. Ammo, because there's no reason not to take ammo. I mean, it is funny that we only have one direct damage. We finally achieved it, the lowest damage per shot in the game. But look, you're just gonna have to deal with that. Get over it. Tier 3. Hot feet, surprisingly useful. Now, we actually don't want custom coil alignment. It's actually better for this version of the weapon to have lower accuracy. It genuinely helps with crowd clear, if you'll believe me. And hot feet actually lets us sort of outpace enemies while backing away from them, which is actually really important. Tier 4, Plasma Splash. This is the most important tier, probably for the Drac in general, but also for this overclock especially. Now, what I want to point out, people might recommend to you to use Plasma Splash and Plasma Splash alone. That's not 100% valid. I'm not saying don't listen to that advice, but because Plasma Splash is probably the best one. But what I will say is, don't use this. Armor breaking is useless with this overclock because you could be taking electricity, which the damage of which is buffed by the overclock itself. But the same goes for Plasma Splash. Now, Plasma Splash is amazing for its overclock for a myriad of reasons. The first one, it makes the Drank into a pretty decent crowd clearer. It's not great, but it's made even better by the fact that Plasma Splash is partially composed of fire damage, which is buffed by the Conductive Thermal status effect. So you actually get stronger the more you shoot enemies with the Drak itself. Which applies to both this and the electricity mod, but it's still interesting that Plasma Splash gets that effect as well. Plasma Splash also allows you to afflict enemies with the status effect through armor, meaning you can hit a Praetorian's armor, you can hit an Oppressor on the front, you can hit a Dreadnought from any angle and afflict them with the Conductive Thermal status effect. Even better than that, if you happen to hit direct flesh anyway, you will actually apply 2 stacks of the effect. Because it counts as 2 separate instances of damage. So it's just a real compacted, just really great way to use this overclock. Just to cover as much ground as possible and be just super economic with how you're using upgrade. Just really, it comes together so well. And it comes together, well, manual heat dump is fine. It actually lets us get overheats quicker. Which is good for hot feet. But it really comes together when we look at the secondary. So why am I using the boomstick? Well, first of all, the boomstick's a good weapon, believe it or not. I actually believe that now. But why shaped shells? Why not double barrel? Well, that's because other builds, things that aren't double barrel, get more use out of white phosphorus shells, which is where most of our damage is coming from, because that converts 50% of our damage to fire damage. And shaped shells is a way of having really precise chunk damage at long ranges that feels amazing, both with or without conductive thermals. We can chunk, we can one-shot Tri-Jaws and Acid Spitters, and of course Web Spitters as well, at range without using conductive thermals, but we can also two-shot things like Warzens and Praetorians when we use it in conjunction with conductive thermals. And it just feels fantastic. It's pretty generically built. I'm not going to go through it tier by tier. Tier 4 is worth mentioning though, because of course the fire is somewhat separate from direct damage, in that I don't think it's actually affected by armor that much, but I still prefer armor breaking. Blow through could be really good. I can see why you would use that, but I personally just prefer the armor breaking. It feels really good to me. And that's kind of that. Cryo grenades, why? Well, I wanted to use this was originally on, I'm not sure who this was on. Someone else who's got shaped shells. You, isn't it? Yeah, it was originally on this guy. In fact, it still technically is. And I used Stun Sweeper, which actually worked quite well. But I really wanted to put this overclock in my cryo build slot. And it works with a cryo grenade. You can decrease the freeze threshold of a lot of enemies so that you can actually use 1 cryo grenade where it would normally take 2 or even more. 1 cryo grenade for oppressors and breeders and even detonators and dreadnoughts. And it feels pretty incredible. And it kind of just works well with the overclock in general, because we can use it to keep enemies frozen for a lot longer. I'm not a cryo grenade guy, but I don't mind them in this context. Anyway, the mission I've got lined up for this build is this. Now, the funny thing about this, and the funny thing about this is that this overclock is not very good in point defense situations. It actually very much so relies on our ability to move around. So this is going to be brutal. I might actually fail. I just want it to be known that this is a build specifically. This overclock in general is kind of like this, but this build specifically, staying in one place does not suit it. However, this mission is offering rival presence, and I want to do rival presence. I used this build on Industrial Sabotage the other day, and it was pretty incredible. It was amazing against everything except the Caretaker itself. Another reason I'm doing this is so I can actually do one of these challenges. I literally haven't done a double warning challenge yet, and I really want to, because that's how I'm going to get the script that I need to finish the cosmetic tree. And again, I might fail the mission. You're just going to have to bear with me. But it did so well against every rival enemy, aside from the Caretaker, and that included the appendages as well. The Caretaker's appendages were going down super easily. And I was just really impressed. And that's why I'm doing this instead of an elimination, because the other build I think is more interesting, which is why I need to give credit to Snowing Fate. Technically, this build is stolen from Snowing Fate. Technically. I can only pretend, I can only claim that I came up with this build before I saw that video. And I did, but you know, you might not believe me. I did come up with it before I saw the video. It's like, oh damn, we basically followed the same thing. And that's because it's so good. So it's not really surprising. Which is why I'm saving the best till last. And we're saving the actual Dreadnought killing for the other build. The far more interesting build in my opinion, because I think this one's going to become pretty popular. I don't know why I thought I would have low gravity. I had no reason to expect that. That's weird. Anyway, so here we are. In the mission. So, I guess I should talk a bit about how I actually feel about this Overclock. So, it made a bad first impression. And I was surprised that it did. I was expecting to have a lot of fun with it. I was expecting to like it. It actually made a very weird first impression, where when I first read about it, I was like, oh, that's going to work really well, because, you know, you have lots of electrocution methods on Scout as well, including on the drag itself. Then someone told me, it was like, oh, I don't think they actually mean electricity, I think they mean temperature shock. Come to find out, that's not the case. It is electricity, and I really want to thank Ghost Ship for giving this Overclock the breadth that it deserves. Because giving it that really tipped over. Kind of interesting that this build doesn't rely on electricity at all. It's entirely focused on the fire from the boomstick, and even the fire damage from Plasma Splash. But that's okay, because it all just comes together for me to say I really, really like this Overclock. I think it has plenty of downsides. It's not the most perfect thing in the world. It leaves you with a lot of blind spots and things that you can't do as well. Our crowd clearing capabilities are not that strong. We don't have many methods to really disrupt enemy attacks, but what we do have is the ability to do this. Oh my god. Okay, I was really worried I wouldn't be able to do that, because when I was playing that Industrial Sabotage the other day, yeah, she might have been last night, I'm not sure. First of all, idiots. Also, like I said, I didn't actually need to do that. I don't need to use it on the Tri-Jaw. They just go down no matter what. This guard is mine. So good. It's even good because it like actually just buffs the actual damage over time of fire as well, which just feels great. It's so well designed because it has plenty of caveats. It leaves, you know, like I said, your crowd clearing's not going to be that great. You're not very destructive. You can kill enemies in ways that you really just couldn't before, with an efficiency that we really haven't seen before. And it's just so good. I really like it. I had some buffs that I was going to suggest for it like a while ago when I got to this video. I was thinking like a while ago about what I might say in this video about buffs I might suggest. One of them was going to be suggesting giving the Overclock a base like tiny like damage over time effect that also builds up. Like this purple effect would be some kind of like plasma electricity that would deal like 1 damage per second, but you could obviously build that up to as many stacks as you have. I don't think that's a terrible idea, but this Overclock is nuanced enough where I don't think it needs to be genericized in that way. I think it has enough synergies and just potential and intrigue to really justify it being the way it is. In fact, so much so that I am hoping that it doesn't get nerfed. I don't think it will get nerfed. It might get nerfed in the way that Drilling in the Name of showed, which is its ability to result under the right circumstances in you dealing, or in a player dealing over 30,000 damage in one shot. But that's a very different box of frogs. I think at base, Conductive Thermals is in a very good place and should basically be left untouched. And I hope that will be the case, because I really like it. Oh shit! Oh, I was just a hair off. See, that's actually not good, because the experience I had when I was doing the Industrial Sabotage, I was consistently one-shotting turrets. So I was literally just like 1 or 2 stacks away from it. I just kind of misjudged. Oh, hello. Goodbye. I mean, obviously there'll be more turrets though, which is good because when you do it properly, which is not hard to do, it feels really good against turrets. And the cool thing about this shaped shells build on the boomstick, it already one-shots sniper turrets at pretty much any range. We don't even need to use the Drac against them. It's the other turrets that it's mainly focused on. Didn't malfunction, thank God. Okay, let's push on. Hi. There we go. A warden, you say? Oh fuck! I actually I forgot about Cambridge class actually. So that's definitely going to be a death. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll take it. But the chances of me getting overwhelmed are actually very high. I just realised.
Thanks, Bosco. Light there. Reach now. You guys really need to provide some better. Bacteria try to eliminate it.
Alright. Problem is, with me, is I can't lock in. It's just not a thing that I can do. I just, I kind of have this flat value of skill that only goes down as situations get more intense. It's very damning. I don't appreciate it. And see, that robot eluded my wizard's touch. I knew that would be hackable. I don't know why, I just knew it. Oh well.
Here we go again.
Kind of just have to gonna go with this stuff because this is gonna happen. Conductive Thermals really comes down to the breakpoints that it changes, you know? Like I said, our ability to disrupt enemies and to sort of keep safe is quite limited. But we can do cool stuff. Like killing individual enemies really easily. What we can't do is kill crowds super easily. Did I lose my Steve? I'm actually not sure. No! Leave me alone. I did. Alright, cool. Anyway, I think, well, actually, I know what I can do, because cave leeches are not a problem when it comes to actually killing them. Not that they ever are. I guess the only time would probably be with using a terrible EPC build and either the cryo cannon or the flamethrower. Only then would killing cave leeches be even slightly a problem.
Ceiling clean. The barnacle down is up. No more leaking.
Leave me alone.
Damn players could need an up.
Right, that guy's not dead yet. It's going to change in a moment. And yeah, I am going to kill all of these turrets manually as well. Why not?
Flares up. Light is up.
Right, this repulsor turret will be one shot. There we go.
Yeah, give me some sugar.
So maybe that was a bit much. Oh,
Destroy the brute nexus or we will have
bastard.
on our tail forever.
Hey! Woo!
These bugs don't stand a chance against us. Not again.
At least now I can use that resupply.
Let there be light.
Hey man, what you doing? Oh, thanks.
Patrol that scrapyard. Toast
You leave me alone, please. Thank you.
ready to kill some more crates.
When I am locked in, just coincidentally, because it never happens on purpose, man, does this shit feel good.
On
Okay, I messed that up. I did not know the Praetorian was on low health. And if I'd done that properly, then that good bomber would be dead. In fact, I'm going to do that anyway. Fuck it. And miss. Of course I fucking miss. Why would I not miss? Why would I hit it? Why would I hit? That would be too good. It doesn't really matter. You kill them so easily anyway. I really shouldn't be complaining. What the hell? What's up with these guys? Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, Bosco, please. Please. I need this one life. I don't want to be on 0 lives. Please. I just have no cave leak sense. Just none whatsoever. I never look up. And it's really bad.
Bosco, you are the best, Lloyd! I got take it.
Let's see if I can somehow pull through with only one life.
Why feel less on edge without
Problem is, this mission won't be here when I get back, and I really, want to do it because I actually want to win as well. I guess I do have to just lock in.
Lighting!
Okay.
The barnacle kill!
Oh. That really tells you everything you need to know. The moment I say I'm locked in, and I just immediately knock my earphones out of my ears. That's just the story of my life. Fucking hell. That's amazing. Oh my god.
Barnacle eliminated!
That's funny. Alright, Spitball vector. Boom! Gone. It will. Well, I mean, the patrol bot's gonna get it, but I mean, you shouldn't be sleeping on the damage over time, though, that you will end up doing. What is that? What is that? Go away.
Lighting up! Right! That thing almost ate my pickaxe!
Oh.
There's charging! Pow! Lloyd! Another one bites the sand! No damn, they're receiving bugs!
Okay. Oh!
Pesticide coming up!
Unbelievable. And this is why I don't, well, that's proof that I don't use cryo grenades that much, I suppose.
Let there be Lloyd! Barnacle down!
Trust me, guys, I'm not that bad. Trust me.
No! Lighting up! Mine it! The barnacle kill!
Alright, I'm going to do some mission stuff now, just gathering minerals and doing mules. Although I think a big horde of enemies just showed up. Oh, hi! The other thing is, if we don't happen to finish something off, but it's still on fire, then we can just start laying into it with the drag and make that fire better, basically.
Out of my way!
Also, Warden, I definitely wanted a Warden. Ooh! One shot. Hit the weak point. What we like to see. Alright, but I need ammo. I actually don't have any. I can't actually kill this thing. Actually, I can. By missing a cryo grenade again. I'm a fucking embarrassment. Jesus Christ. I don't deserve to be the level that I am. Also, I don't even have nitra for a resupply.
Light is up! Oh, I can't carry anymore!
Alright, well, you don't need to see this stuff.
All good things come to those who wait,
Ooh.
like dual
Click
flame.
manage broadcast. Ores. Here they come.
From A to D, skip B and C. Looks like acid doesn't dissolve bullets. It's overheated. Parkour!
Actually, I want to do the cryo grenade thing with the Orion. What's this? Just temp shocked itself to death. I don't know why that happened, but I really love it. I'm trying to figure out what it's trying to do, and I don't. I think it's like trying to. It's still the conductive thermal stat effect is still trying to inflict more cold. Like it still thinks the enemy's frozen is what I have to think is happening, while also knowing that it's on fire and buffing the fire. I don't know. It's like really weird, and I love it. It's so strange. Like, imagine if there was a way to do that somehow without a cryo grenade, that we could do it with something that we had more ammo with. The only way would be if we could somehow combine fire and cryo bolts, which would be crazy. I mean, I'm still a big fan of the dual overclocks idea. I think it would be amazing. I mean, it's a genuine step that the game could go in that would just do so much. The ability to combine overclocks on weapons. I mean, someone put a thread up about that on Reddit recently, and I thought it was great, but the guy, or girl, I don't know, the person had like a bunch of, in my opinion, quite arbitrary limitations upon, like it had to be like, you know, they couldn't be of the same category unless they were balanced or something, and I just thought that was really lame. And you also couldn't double up, which I also thought was lame. I want to double up, and that would include both the positives and penalties. Like, what would double Fat Boy look like? You would have like 3 like nukes. You'd have like 3 ammo at most, but the nukes would be like have like a 10-meter radius, and the fallout would be like the size of an entire room. And you could and it would do enough damage in one go to like kill like oppressors as well. It would be like, it would just be ridiculous. So that Beastmaster, it's a bit of a crutch for Scout, but it's just, I love it. Kind of becoming a mainstay, and it should have been forever, pretty much, like really. What I really love about this, apart from the Warden, which I think was pretty clearly biased for the weak point, we don't really rely on weak points to do crazy damage. It's something that I just appreciate. Anyway, I need to actually... Oh! Oh! Ah! Ah! Here we go. Nemesis, baby. It's here. Shit. Now, I need to really not get greedy, because he could easily one-shot me. Looks like I'm going to cryo this shit out, this Google, I think. I need to handle this Nemesis with tact and charm. Because we're not going to be overheating it. I would like to, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, it doesn't just stand fire for anywhere near long enough. But I do need to die, because as soon as it dies, I can take a resupply. Okay. That's still pretty quick for Nemesis. They can be a real pain in the ass, and that wasn't really. Anyway, where's that Goo Bomber? I want to teach him a lesson. See, the Aptorian didn't tempt itself. So I don't even know how to actually make that happen on purpose. This happens sometimes. You know what I like though? This is actually an example of an overclock with pretty much equally good execution as the idea. Like sometimes it's like, the interesting thing about some overclocks in DLG is that sometimes the execution is better than the concept. I think Crystal Nucleation is a perfect example of that, where I think the concept is pretty lazy, but the execution is basically perfect. It's just bizarre. I need to stop trying to do that. Especially when I can do that instead. think of other things like that. Rocket Barrage, with good execution but bad. Well, no, bad concept. No, yeah, good concept with bad execution. I'm trying to think of the other thing, which is like bad or lazy concept but with good execution. Because crystal nucleation's the first time I've noticed that. I think.
Help me mine this. Light is up.
Mine layer system, maybe. Sure.
Where is it?
Maybe that's overstepping.
Come here.
Anyway, let's just finish this meal. Oh, it's just a bunch of shredders. The shredders we actually be worse at.
Got one of the annoying shredder drones.
Fine.
Lighting.
Oppressor. Now, do I want to use the cryo grenade the oppressor? I don't think I do actually. I think I'd rather save cryo grenades. Never mind. I only have one life. Stop me. What do? What am I doing? Why is this going badly? Oh, well done, Steve.
Getting supplies.
Even though I already need a resupply again. Okay. I can't tell if this is ammo efficient or not, though. I guess it probably isn't. But I am using a lot. Weird. But I didn't. Weird. It doesn't feel inefficient. Yet I am using a lot of ammo. Anyway, I think it's time to get this on the. Get my death on the. You know, let's just fast track to my death because I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna win, basically. Which isn't a good, probably not a great thing to do. Probably signing myself up for failure there, but I think it's a wash, basically. Who knows? I might get luck. I think it would be luck because this build does not thrive in these situations, and I think therefore Overclock is not really conducive to a build that would thrive in these situations. I can't really think of one that would make sense. I think in a team setting you could definitely turn that around. Like you could be an amazing like cryo scout with this in a team setting. You're using cryo bolts and you're just freezing everything. It's unfortunately you can't really do much when you do that. I was thinking about trying to make a cryo build, a full-on cryo build with cryo bolts, but the damage just wouldn't be good enough in the Drac itself. It does such little damage per shot, especially with conductive thermals, and that's how you would be finishing off enemies as well. Doesn't seem like a great idea.
Lights up.
Come on, give me that Jaders. Oh, okay. No cave leeches in there. Scream, cry, and bleed from my eyes. Which is crying, basically. Or sweating from your eyes, as Buford said.
Light.
Alright, you don't really need to see me go through the rigmarole depositing these Jaders. Unless a Mactera grabber shows up.
Gotta wait for the recharge.
I miss it. Twice! Holy shit.
I got the try job.
I have like record bad aim when it counts. My aim's fine when I'm not flying.
See you later. Face the picture.
Oh.
Whoosh.
Hit the weak point though, so that felt pretty good. That doesn't happen very often at all actually, hitting a Mactera Maybe you grab his weak point. I guess that was a trade-off. I got to hit the weak point because I didn't hit it twice beforehand. Can you stop? Can you actually stop?
Stuck on this, you freaking inventory is full. Time's an important. Damn robot. This
Ah,
is our
robots.
turn. Next point, try shredding some tree houses instead. Make another deposit.
Alright, it's time for me to... time for me to meet my swift and utter demise. Again!
Uplink ready. Triangulate.
Especially in such an open environment, this is actually really terrible for this.
Or we will lose the connection. We only got one shot at this.
I'm not going to try and cryo that guy, just going to do that so I know that it's dead.
Here, have some
Do that so I know that it's free.
boom, baby. It's overheated.
Except for the Praetorian, which I can handle. I can handle a lone Praetorian.
50%.
But that actually wasn't very many stacks, which explains the damage there. Oh, Steve, I need a Steve. You.
Jeopardizing
God.
the mission. Get back to the triangulation zone. Return to the triangulation zone. We're losing your connection.
You can just cold ignited Praetorian cloud. I mean that can happen, so
Triangulation at 75%. Almost there.
the main reason I'm expecting to fail is because I did an escort duty with this, and it was still good in every way that I expected. But I failed miserably on the Hearthstone segment because it was just a standstill defense, and it didn't work. So far.
Uplink triangulation completed. Remote control established.
Doing much worse.
Sending in fresh fuel cells for the drop part.
We shouldn't jinx myself though. I have a habit of doing that.
Detonation executed.
Oh, I couldn't resist. Also, so far that's the only enemy that I've been able to do that with, so I don't know if I can do it to like a warden or something. Or an oppressor. Oppressor would be the best thing really.
Connect them to the drop
And
pod
somehow
by
do that to an
dragging out the
oppressor.
charge cable.
Is this environment better or worse? I think this is better. Better place.
Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
There's more nights. Actually, a lot of nights in this mission in
Help me
reality.
mine this. There's charging.
Fuel cells connected to drop pod. Prepare the fuel cells for charge sequence.
I'm on fire.
Thank God these guys didn't show up when I was actually doing the objective. That. Victorian again.
What's that smell? All right.
Once again, getting ready for my swift and utter demise, and I'm just looking at the time, and once again, the Scout one has gone on for quite a while. I don't know what it's about Scout, and the video's just being longer. I really don't know what it is. I'm not surprised for Conductive Thermals. I'm more surprised for the other two. I had that much to say. But I cut so little. But Conductive Thermals makes sense because I like it. Why does that almost sound like a nemesis? Like, that sounds like a big sport. What's it? The real terror is getting a nemesis during the uplink. But if I do, I'll just resign like the mission. I'll be like, okay, I guess that's that. I thought I had a resupply there. I mean, I did, but
Fuel cells
here we go.
Stay close to
Now it's really time to lock in.
We're expecting an increase in hostiles.
Lighting.
Hi. That was a symptom of locking in, I swear. I love compact shells. The boomstick. Right, look at that. Idiot. Dead. I do want to point out, out of the two builds I'm going to be using today, this is probably the better one, sorry. The better one, but the other one's more interesting. Hopefully that will be evident. Alright, an oppressor. This oppressor is going to get cryoed. Okay. Okay. So that part's done. Just need to live. Dumbass Trigel. Really stupid Trigel.
What a jaw-dropping experience! We are free from the oppressor!
Hi.
Onboard mainframe booting. Calculating orbital trajectory.
I do want to point out though, as much as it was like a good choice because it means I'm going to get that challenge done, it's not a particularly effectual warning now when I've killed all the rival enemies ready and all the cave leeches in the cave.
Decom operational.
Flippin' oppressor down!
Hard thrusters calibrated.
Another oppressor. I mean, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it.
Powered up
I'm
and
gonna do
ready
it.
to leave. It's time to bring it all home. Get on board, we're leaving with or without you.
Okay, that was something else.
Retrieving escape pod.
I wasn't expecting to win. I was expecting to survive, especially with just no extra lives. Wow. I guess locking in manually actually worked for the first time in my life. Man, this is the kind of thing, the bittersweet, it's not that bittersweet because I don't really care, but I just know that, I mean, Tyler doesn't even like really many of the new overclocks, and he just no love for the Scout or the Drac, and he just has a bad interpretation of this overclock anyway. There's no way he's ever gonna understand how good it is. At least I do. At least I do. It's so good.
Excellent performance from
All right.
Rock Galactic.
Do I want to select a mission before
Unnoticed.
changes over?
Management are seriously considering you for promotion, but you have
Not
complete
necessarily. We might get a
final
better
assignment
elimination.
first.
Who
Prove
knows?
yourself, and a promotion
But yeah, I have to do a mission now with a maxed out scout. So takeaways. We were good against everything as long as you're able to stay moving. Crowds aren't too big of a problem because we are just that good at taking out the most dangerous enemies, basically instantaneously. And we have the reserve cryo grenades to basically stop a crowd completely when we need to. The combination of conductive thermals with a fire-based compact shells. Is that what shape shells? Shape shells boomstick just means we can put down large tanky enemies and high-value targets with basically just no trouble and basically instantaneously. It's just a super powerful combination, and I do think this is probably the better build of the two, in that it is quite good. Also, it's the exact same elimination, which is not too surprising. I would actually like to be able to. Is that another? What's that? Rival presence, deep scan. That's actually pretty good. I would have actually preferred to do that. I think. Know what am I doing? I'm not doing that. We're doing this. With tough enemies? No, not with tough enemies. Not tough enemies. I can handle more enemies though. Okay, so the other build.
Mission selected. Good
The other build is actually focused on electricity and fire at the same time, more so electricity. It's kind of hard to explain because I'm pretty sure the electric effects of these two weapons actually do double up, as in they are the same. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. In that I think the taser bolts deal a damage over time effect that isn't like actually shown from an icon anyway, and I think that's why this works. So our electric drac here, we got velocity in tier 1 as normal, but we got damage in tier 2. Why damage? Well, I don't quite know, but it kind of just feels better. I mean, our main source of crowd clearing is the fire bolts here. So we got this fellow with accuracy as well, sort of a more precise sort of a laser cannon with electricity. So we're using electricity this time, and it feels pretty good. Let's just put down. This is actually our HVT killer. Combining it with the taser bolts is how we get our big single target damage. In fact, even combining it with fire bolts is also big single target damage. So we have a weird bolt shark that has fire bolts, but we don't have maxed out fire bolts, and we also have taser bolts, expanded special quiver. I don't know how to rationalize this on the spot, so it really is more pertinent to just throw myself into the fray. Pheromone canister is mainly just to help us control really large groups of enemies that let fire bolts do the work. I want to jump into this, especially because I would like to do this mission of Gold Rush with pots of gold after I'm done with the video. So let's just jump in. So as I said, I consider this the more interesting build, and it is kind of weird. It kind of falters in some scenarios, like it feels pretty bad against Stingtails, for example. But it still does the work, and it does really interesting work against Dreadnoughts. You're going to be seeing some weirdly high damage over time against Dreadnoughts. Mission, I hope. The only problem I have is that the Drac, I do feel, is slightly held back by not using Plasma Splash, but I really just want to be using the electricity. I don't want to just be locked into using Plasma Splash all the time with this Overclock. Even though I do think it's overall better, I want to be able to use something else. If you'll let me. I think that's just a breeder. Like, yeah, it's a breeder. Alright, fine. We can handle breeders. Breeders are actually a good showcase of what this build does, because this build is really... The other build is focused on elemental chunk damage through the fire on the boomstick. This build is more focused on just stacking and amplifying damage over time effects to the most ridiculous degree possible. Which is why I actually originally wanted to use chemical bolts, so I could have the electricity on the rack, fire from the crossbow, and the poison from the crossbow. Of course, we can't buff the poison, which in itself wasn't necessarily a problem, but it didn't feel great overall, and I kind of just went back to, or just deferred to taser bolts. And it's an interesting build, a very interesting build. I think that will be evident on the gameplay. So let's find some things to kill. Bosco, hurry up. Need to mine that gold.
Help me mine this.
But I don't do anything by myself. Okay. Breeder. Now, once again, I am, ignoring cave leeches because I literally don't know how to notice them. So it's going to take an L there. But that breeder should die, I think. I'm not crazy. Breeder did not die, much to my dismay. I am forced to form a tactical retreat. Okay. How embarrassing. Ah, Praetorian. Now, Praetorians are fun, because I think I should be able to do this. And this should do it. And now it should die. Yeah. that Stingtail should die like that as well. This actually does something interesting because I discovered a while ago that taser bolts are really good at single target damage when you pair them up. We're going to be pairing them up here because there's two variants. That's a bit different. But they do really good single target damage when you put two taser bolts on the same enemy. But with this build, we can do really good single target damage with taser bolts. With one taser bolt. And actually, weirdly enough, I think this oppressor is going to be on fire. And that's how we're going to kill it. I mean, look, that's actually pretty quick for killing an oppressor. And that's what I mean. This is what I mean by this build being interesting. It just feels like we're taking down enemies in ways that you normally wouldn't. And it just feels weird and kind of cool. That, I think, will definitely die. I keep thinking I have drills, which is not good. So I'm going to taser bolt this vector. Use minimal shots from the track. That should do it. I think that will definitely die. I think. Does the taser bolt will last long enough? Let's see. Fucker. Shit. I really thought it would just die on that. Clearly I was wrong.
Go! Get to work! Yeah!
Woe is me. Am I going to use a resupply in this room?
What is the difference between rock and stone?
I want to make sure I have the nitro for it. Because I think the twins is the one I don't want. I mainly just want a normal dreadnought because that's the easiest one to show it off against. Oh, I've got enough. Okay, that's what I wanted. Just enough for a resupply. Okay, let's do it.
God damn it, there's a
Twins. Fuck. What do you know? All right, so let's just try and show this off. Basically, is what I'm going to start with. So we have to do that. And we have to use. Unfortunately, also the twins do that, which is why they're really terrible for showing this off. It still works, and there it is. There's our damage. Right, it's your turn. You get 2. I mean, the ultra damage over time kicks in when you have 2 taste bolts on the same enemy and they're on fire and you've inflicted them with conductive thermals. That's where it really kicks in. Hopefully we'll be able to see that. It's unlikely I'm going to get to do that to the twins. If I have one left, I'll probably be able to do it. I have like one left over that I can just bully. Which is usually what you want when it comes to the twins. And I think... Ooh, will I need a resupply? I don't know. I can come back to it, actually, I suppose, if I need to. Even once I've moved on. Alright. Arbalest, I know what to do with you. Not that, ideally. Not that. Why am I this bad? I'm actually going to... Oh, we're actually skewered towards damaging the Arbalest. I'm going to go full firebolt, actually. Fuck it. And of course he's going to, you know, dig away when I do that, because he's an absolute piece of shit. An absolute deplorable bastard of an enemy. Only pheromone grenade could be used in the dreadnought fight. Right, maybe I can do it too. Well, actually, I can't, but it's going to die anyway. I'm sure. But that's fine. Right, now you are going to get the free firebolt treatment. I'm going to die. I know that. That's fine. Because I just can't handle... I can't, you know... For some reason, my brain doesn't tell me to stay away from things that I know can kill me. It does in the real world, by the way. I'm not a reckless person. You are. Really? Really? Did you have to do it like that? Did you have to? Did you have to kill me? Like, did you have to? What a wanker. Yeah, so, okay. Much to my shame, the twins are the worst one for it, and I know that sounds like, oh, he's saying that because he got killed. That's why. I probably wouldn't have got killed if it was the other two. At least I know there will be one of the other two. Still hope it's a normal dreadnought, personally. Also, I want a massive swarm because I got 4 pheromone grenades, 1 firebolt. We're gonna work some magic, I think. Is it? I mean, it's just a bunch of exploders. It's not very useful. Actually, I suppose I can make them all kill each other. So that works. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Rock seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
Alright, well, I guess I'm just going to wait for a huge horde of enemies to show up. See you then. I just realised I'm actually out of lives again. Before I had 1. I guess that's what today is made up of. Me being on 0 lives. Well, I think they might have just appeared. I'm not sure. Here, Trijaw. I can't actually... Trijaw, actually, I can't do anything to. These assholes. It's just Season 4 gang plus exploders. They're just going to die. Yes. Fuck it, fuck it. Using all my ammo. I didn't know I had fire rate on the flare gun. Alright, I'm completely out, which is great. It means I can take 2 resupply. Oh!
I'm taking some of the ammo.
Oh man. Think about stuff that I'm excited for, which is quite a few things actually. First one being Daredevil Born Again. The spiritual MCU reboot of the Daredevil series. It's a continuation. In fact, based on what we've seen, it's actually more of a continuation than ever. I saw a leaked trailer online from D23 and it looks pretty damn good. I'm really happy. Obviously, everyone's back. All the actors. I know their names, but I'm not going to bother. You know, Daredevil, Punisher, Kingpin, Karen and Foggy. We're all back. Bullseye as well, and Vanessa, Kingpin's wife. Everyone's back. Great stuff. Very excited. Especially because it's directed by the guys who did Loki and Moon Knight, which is, you know, the best. I would say the best creators involved in those shows, in the Disney Plus shows.
What kind of fiendish technology makes Molly constantly get in the way?
Maybe this is why the scout videos end up being so long, because I do stuff like this. I mean, we'll see. There might be something in the next room, might not be. Who cares? There is a Praetorian. Now, how do I want to kill this Praetorian? I'm going to go pure firebolts, actually. I think he's going to die now. There we go. Wonderful. It is I, the weakest mint ice cream enjoyer. actually got to do this yet. Standard Firebolt strike. Always like you when I get opportunity to do that. Although not like that was a massive horde. Firebolt, standard Firebolt activities is when you get a disgustingly large horde. Also, this sucks. Okay, so this mission has literally no stakes because there's nothing cool going on in it, and my scout is literally level 25. So we will do this thing right here, this core stone, after Dreadnought. Also, the core stone is kind of funky because it really just comes down to me spamming pheromones while killing the actual core stone itself as quick as possible. So I'll still show it because it's slightly interesting, but the core stone always just comes down to spamming crowd control effects. Which is why I hope the core spawn are a little bit different in Rogue Core itself. Okay, so we're gonna mega kill this breeder. Gonna go all the way. But the thing is, weirdly enough, all the way would actually involve using a lot more taser bolts, because you can just keep adding more taser bolts and it will keep doing more damage. Anyway, this is standard Firebolt activities. No bots code, don't kill it. Oh, you can't anyway. Okay, Season 5, awesome. Everything in it's good, except the change they made where you can no longer kill shockers with fawns. Stupid decision. Really, just really bad. There was no reason to take that away from fawns. The interesting thing is this guy will probably die without me using Conductive Thermals anyway, but fuck it.
Rock and roll.
Oh, I just remember this isn't... Is Dreadnought? Or is? Or they're kind of weirdly connected? They're sort of weirdly connected. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Not sure where I'm going to put
Red sugar.
resupply. Not sure where exactly I'm going to fight. This, I guess we can go like... Room sucks.
Lights up.
Actually, no, it does suck. There's also a spitball. You're horrible. You suck. I hate you. Oh no!
Got no players ready. Flares up. No more leeching off me. Flares up. Where is that damn mule?
Is it a bad route? Guys, doing these videos and doing commentary makes me think about what I'm doing more than normal, like in the game. Obviously, not based on that, but overall, I just end up talking more about my actual thought process behind what I'm doing. This is, it's not a great environment. Could do worse. All right, come on, you bugger. Be a normal Dreadnought, please. By God. Oh,
We got a dread.
it's a normal Dreadnought.
Resupply is here.
This is where it gets fun. Step 1. Destroy the hive. Step 2. Firebolt Deluxe. Step 3. Do whatever that was. Honestly, it's been better. Honestly, it's actually Steve who's getting in the way. Oh well. I know it's good. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. There's some real damage over time. And now we're going to go pure firebolts. Pretty cool, eh? My last trick. Quintuple taser bolt attack.
No bolts left.
I think that panned out pretty well, actually.
Hit the return button on the mule when you're ready.
That could have been a lot worse. Alright.
Getting supplies.
Thing is, if a massive horde shows up, it's not much point in showing it, because all I would do is just use pheromones and then firebolt them. But like I said, you will be seeing me do that core stone, I think.
Lloyd,
So, oh,
come here.
oh, guess I already. Yeah, a book detonator.
Inflatable
Oh.
beach float secured. Score 1 for the good guys, miners. Performance point bonus is active.
Oh, actually, it wouldn't work against a core stone, would it? Because core stone, I don't think you can actually. I don't think you can bypass its invincibility like that. It's terrifying. This thing's gonna die really quick, by the way. This is gonna be good. Hi. Right. One more taser bolt. That is very quick and ammo efficient for a bolt detonator. There you go.
I needed that.
Look, Horde of Hell.
Lighting. Pheromone. Let him kill his Steve.
Anyway, now we get to do core stone,
Bosco.
which will probably not go particularly well. Yeah, I guess the more takeaways are... The real takeaway from this build, in my opinion, is just to prove the flexibility of conductive thermals. Still pretty confident the other one is a better build, but I think this still shows there is more than one way to do it. I think there are definitely more than this even. I really want to figure out if there is a true cryo build for it. I think that'd be really cool if there was, so I definitely want to play more around with that. But I mean, come on, this is a great overclock. They did a really good job, and it felt like they didn't at first, which I think is even more special. Is that I thought this overclock was basically a disappointment at the beginning, and it's come around to being like just a really great thing. Also, one thing, firebolts are really bad against crawls. But I'm still going to try and use them.
Go, Bosco. Bosco. I love this grappling hook.
Also, I don't think this actually works with conductive thermals at all, like against the core stone itself. I think it's a very caretaker-esque entity that resists elemental damage.
Take your ammunition. Not ready yet. Let there be blood. Steve Knight. Give me some Lloyd.
Did I just make Bosco attack a taser bomb? The fuck? And again.
Bosco.
Again. Oh, but he is attacking the core stone. That's strange. Alright. Time to go.
Sending in the drop pod. Starting the counter. This is it, team. Do us proud.
Let there be
Well
Lord.
done, team.
Once again, a mission I did not think I would fully live out. I mean, I guess we're not out yet, but come on,
Ready to kill some more.
I did it.
prey.
And yeah, this has once again become a long one. Is this the longest one? I don't know.
Take it.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I guess I do. The shorter the video usually means more views, and I think Conductive Thermals deserve the views. Which is why I'm actually very glad. I don't care about the timing. I'm very glad that Drilling the Name of did video on this Overclock. And shone light on it, because unfortunately him shining light on it is probably the most surefire way to get it nerfed. But I think he's still doing a good thing nonetheless. It deserves some spotlight. Deserves recognition. I think it's getting there as well. They just said the core stone will be instrumental in locating the best deep sites for our next endeavours. What if that has anything to do with road core? It obviously does, by the way. The Conductive Thermals, an interesting and flexible overclock with tangible weaknesses and downsides, but even more tangible synergies and interesting play styles arise from it. Just a really great piece of content. It stands to reason that it's that I was much more excited to do this. You know, I've for the past couple of these, I've been recording 2-in-1 like session, 2 of these videos in one day. And it stands to reason that I was much more excited to record this one than the Combustive Goomix one. Also, the time has just gone, which means I've lost that gold rush. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, and you want to stay on top of everything to do with Deep Rock and Roadcore, then please click that bell as well. Of course, next time will be Microconductor add-on, and then there'll be a bit of a break. I think I'm going to do some... Well, after that, after Microconductor add-on, I'm going to do, like, the next 3 slots, the weapon maintenance paint job showcases, and then the following week will be the first of the Overclock showcases going forward. I suppose gold as well. But yeah, that's it. Oh, good gold rush though, as I can. This would. It's the same combo. Rival Presence and Cave Ditch Cluster. It's weird. Cave Ditch Cluster and Parasite seem to very often show up in double warnings. Very strange. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. See you next time.